Well, as the US and Iran fight for control of the Strait of Hormuz, a new front has opened up, threatening to further destabilise global shipping. Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels have declared a maritime blockade on Saudi Arabia. It's the latest escalation in a conflict which predates the Iran war by more than a decade. Now, it could see ships targeted in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. It's a narrow waterway feeding into the Red Sea on one end and the Suez Canal at the other. The Houthis previously attacked shipping in that region during the height of Israel's war in Gaza, which forced companies to take massive detours. And while Saudi exports have survived the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz by using the alternate route, they could now face similar dangers. Well, let's get more from lecturer and researcher in global logistics and supply chain management at Edith Cowan University, Flavio Macau. He joins us now from Perth. Flavio Macau, thank you for this morning. Now, during this US-Iran war, as we just noted there, the Strait of Hormuz effectively blocked. Saudi Arabia was able to use its geography to its advantage and somewhat cushion the effects of the fuel crisis. Can you just briefly explain that to us?
Well, the Strait of Hormuz, once it was blocked, many countries could not find an alternative. Saudi Arabia had the benefit of having ports to the left side of the country, so they could send some of their oil through the Red Sea, and then mainly through Asia, through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. So that was an advantage that they did have that helped cushion, the effects of the issues that we're having with the Strait of Hormuz. Mm-hmm. Now that the Houthis are kind of affecting that route as well, that may make things more complicated to oil markets.
Yeah, so they're declaring a naval blockade to prevent shipping safely using that southern entrance to the Red Sea there. Tell us a bit more about how important the strait is there and what exactly does pass through.
Yeah, it is important because now, at this moment, about 8% of the oil that goes through Asia from the Middle East goes through the strait. So if you remove that, you have a constrained supply chain for oil, and that will get even more complicated. So if the Houthis can effect the blockade, if they can actually hit targets and stop the maritime traffic through that strait, it will make things more expensive. Saudi Arabia could still go through the Mediterranean to Asia, but that would be a much longer trip for the oil tankers. So it adds to the problem because an easy way out is now removed from the equation.
And we know the Houthis don't have a navy as such, but with attacks and even with threats of, they really do have a proven track record in this, don't they? They have been able to cause a lot of disruption before.
That's exactly the point. They can cause disruption. No one knows to what extent they can cause this disruption. If it is for a week, for a month, for a full year, there is no accurate information about their firepower. They cannot affect a blockade like Iran is doing at the Strait of Hormuz, but they can add to the confusion. They can hit a few targets, and that should be enough to make insurance companies not being able to operate in that route as well. And that would remove, as I said, or make more problematic about 7 to 8% of all the oil that's now going from Saudi Arabia to Asia.
And this action, it was predicted, wasn't it?
It's something that was expected. It's like a big poker game, and you never know when the other players come with their chips on the table. And now is the time that the Houthis are saying, hey, we are moving in. We are moving against Saudi Arabia. We are supporting Iran. And now we are bringing this new threat. And then the issue is about escalation. Because say that the Houthis hit a target there in the Red Sea. And then in retaliation, Saudi Arabia hit the Houthis. And then Iran hit Saudi Arabia in another retaliation. And the US hit some more infrastructure in Iran. So it's like a domino effect. That's what markets are most scared of.
So, if ships have to avoid this area, what sort of decisions are they then making?
Well, they would have to go north through the Suez Canal, and that would add weeks to their voyage to Asia, which might as well make no sense from a commercial perspective to send the tankers at all. So the insurance companies will look for safer routes, will look for oil somewhere else if they can find it, instead of running the risk of being targeted by the Houthis.
What sort of disruption are we looking at in that case?
Well, inventories are not at a high point anymore because we spent a lot of our cushion. So the market will get more, nervous because there will not be that much reassurance that we'll have all the gas, all the diesel, all the oil that we need. So everyone will be a little bit on their toes. And if the situation really escalates, because so far is a threat, no missiles have hit any ships in the Red Sea in the past 24 hours. So as long as it remains a threat, it is manageable. If the threat becomes something more tangible and they start hitting ships and you start seeing oil tankers on fire, then the market will get really nervous, and then you can expect that oil prices will go up again, and then everyone will have to find their own ways to deal with the crisis, with this extended crisis.
Flavio Macau, lecturer and researcher in global logistics and supply chain management at Edith Cowan University. Great to have you with us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.